guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Tolu Friday and I film about faith, lifestyle and relationship. If you're new here, you're welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, guys, you're the real MVPs. Thank you for coming back. I hope you've enjoyed the previous video. For everyone that's always been commenting, thank you so much. If you're here and you're still ghosting, you're wrong, bro. Say something in the comment section. Okay, so guys, as the topic says today, we're talking about long distance relationships. Okay, so I don't even think I need to really describe or define long distance relationship to you, but let's just do this. So long distance relationships are relationships where either partner or one of the partners are in a very farther location than the other person. So it could be someone is in Lagos, the other person is in Ife, and they're in a relationship. So that is a long distance relationship. Okay, so there are three different kind of categories that brings about a long distance relationship. First one is when people meet from a distance. So probably one person went for youth service in Osun State, Abuja or Kano, and then he met someone. Second one is they're both in the same vicinity or area or environment, and then they later get distant due to one thing or the other. And the third one is the relationship has already started, or they're even married, because these days now they are long distance marriage. But that's not what we're talking about today, just basically relationships. So they're either in a relationship already or they're married, and then distance comes. Maybe one person's job is taking them outside of the state or outside of the country. But one thing I want to say is, for every relationship, for those that turn into marriage or not, for every relationship there is a phase that seems like a long distance. Is either, let me give you a scenario. Two people can be in a particular school, for instance my school. Two people can be in my school and they're dating, and then one person finishes first, one person graduates before the other person. That relationship, for that time till they balance it out, will be sort of like a long distance, because they're used to being in the same proximity, in the same environment. So now it almost has to do with long distance. So that example can fit into any other scenario. So it means sometimes partners end up experiencing long distance in their own relationship. So if you're in a long distance relationship, I don't want you to beat yourself up about it. I don't want you to think that maybe, oh, this is the end of the world, because I've heard so many people say long distance relationship is not advisable. I think what I'll just tell you is, long distance relationship, I'm talking too fast, okay, so if you're in a long distance relationship, I don't want you to beat yourself up about it. What I want you to understand is it cannot be permanent. Because for you to be in a relationship, for you to love one another, for you to be married, you guys have to be in the same proximity. There's that space, there's that gap already. So it can tend to have more issues than necessary or than other relationships. So what are the common issues that long distance relationship face? First one that they face, very, very common one, is jealousy. Jealousy. So one partner gets jealous, and most times they are jealous because of the fear of missing out. So, they're not together, not in the same space. So the other person is definitely growing without the other person. Let me give you an instance. So one person is in Abuja, one person is in Lagos. The person that is in Abuja is growing. He or she is learning other things, getting to do better things, coming out of their comfort zone in Abuja based on the environment that they are in, while the other person is in Lagos. So the person that is in Abuja is probably learning how to swim, making friends. They're definitely growing one way or the other without the other person. So that can form jealousy. Jealousy can also stem from, easily assumed conclusions. So they're just concluding. You've not spoken to your partner today, but you're going on IG, you're seeing them post, and they've not replied your message on WhatsApp. They've not replied you, are in their DM on IG, they've not replied you, they're not saying anything. So you can assume that they're ghosting you for one reason or the other. But they could be posting an old video, but you're not in the same proximity, so it's easy to assume a bad conclusion. So jealousy is one thing that needs to be avoided, but comes up regularly. Another thing is that insecurities are really heightened in long distance relationship. You see, I don't even think there's anybody that is really devoid of insecurities. We all have our insecurities in one aspect or the other. So it's not like maybe somebody's bringing out the insecurities in you. I think I was watching something yesterday, and one of the therapists said something very profound. She said, we most times blame our partners for pressing our buttons, but the truth is those buttons already existed in us, so they cannot press the button that doesn't exist. So we are insecure. Everyone is insecure on one level or another. It just needs to be pressed or pushed. So yeah, let's get back to the point. So I was talking about insecurities being heightened in long distance relationship. So probably your partner is insecure about you making more male friends or more female friends, and now you are in a state or a country without them. Definitely you will make more friends, because as you're dating or you're in a relationship, you have mutual friends with one another. Now those friends are not there again. You need to make new friends without them. You understand? So that can stem up a lot of insecure issues and all of that. Or they're constantly seeing another person of the opposite sex in your pictures, in your videos, or you're always telling them you're busy. Uncommunicated expectations. So one person could be thinking you're going to stay there for 1 year and apply to come back to the country or to the States. Let me give you a scenario. Two people could be dating, and one person is going for their youth service. So you're saying, okay, let me give you a name so that I won't get confused. Let's use today. I think last time I used Bio. Today we're going to use Jumoke and Peter. Okay, so probably Jumoke traveled to let's say Kano to go serve in Nigeria. Yeah, so she went to Kano to go serve. Peter is in Lagos. Yes, I live in Lagos, so I'm going to be using Lagos a lot. Pardon me. So Peter is in Lagos, Jumoke is now in Kano. So for Peter is thinking 1 year, I will miss my partner for 1 year. After this 1 year we're done, she's coming back to Lagos. Jumoke could be enjoying Kano to the extent that she's considering staying in Kano. And meanwhile, she's not telling her partner anything. And then he is also just assuming that she's coming back. And they've not had an intentional conversation about this. So both parties are thinking, you know, he's like north and south poles. They're thinking differently, but on the same matter. And they've not had a conversation about it. You see, one funny thing about relationships, when people say, we talk about it, must we communicate it? You know, can't you already tell? Nobody's a mind reader. Whether they're dating, whether they love you. Let me even say this now. The depth of a person's love for you doesn't mean that they will read your mind. There's nothing like that. They can't read your mind. They're not mind readers. So, yeah. So when you say, when that happens and both parties are having different mindsets on the same issue or different expectations on the same issue, they're not talking about it, one person will begin to notice. So Jumi is enjoying Kano right now. She's loving the cold. So probably she used to complain about the cold. And now our boyfriend or our partner is saying, Jumi, hope you're not too cold. Hope the duvet, hope you're using your duvet. And she's like, oh, actually, you know, it's not. It's almost like being abroad. The cold is nice. He's already seeing that she's liking it. And for him, she's liking it too much. She could want to stay. So it's better to have conversations about your expectation. When is this long distance? When is it going to end? When are we putting an end to it? Especially if you want something good like marriage to come out of that relationship. If you want it to be definitive, you need to have a conversation about your expectations towards the relationship and the long distance ending. Judgment from other people. You see, relationship is different and relative to everybody. Your relationship and mine are completely different from one another. Yeah, you could be in a godly relationship and I could be in a godly relationship as well, but the terms and conditions for us are different. Why? We're different persons. We have different personalities. So you should understand that people's advice should be third place in your relationship. It shouldn't be first place. Never. Let me say that again. People's advice, people's opinions should always be third place in your relationship and never first place. So your own belief system, your own inclination, God's word should be first place, then that of your partner, before other people. Every other person besides yourself, your partner, and God, every other person is third place. They are what? External voices. Yes, they have good intentions, definitely. But the truth is, it might not work for them. Long-distance relationship might not work for your auntie, for your uncle, for your friend, even for your best friend, and it will work for you. So you have to be careful when taking judgment, comments from other people. And people are so easy to judge long-distance relationship. Very, very easy to judge long-distance relationship. Then this very salient point that causes an issue in long-distance relationship is focus. So when one person is more busy than the other person, Okay, let me give you this illustration. So somebody's going for masters or their PhD or MBBS, as you know, difficult and as trying as that courses, or nursing in Canada or in UK or in US, and then their partner is here and they have their own business. You know, a self-owned business also has its struggles, but you could still space yourself, your time, your resources in a way that you will not be too stressed as a student that is traveling abroad and going there to study. That person has to study, the person has to work at the same time to fend for themselves. So the person that is abroad, let's use Jimmy and Peter again. So probably this time around, Peter is the one traveling abroad for MBBS. Jimmy is the one staying in Lagos. Peter is definitely going to be more busy than Jimmy. Now imagine if Jimmy did not even have a job and she's just staying at home. Her parents are the one fending for her. I'm not saying that Jimmy is a person that lacks focus. I'm just saying she has enough time. She has more ample time than Peter does. So definitely that would be a problem. In this situation, I'll just tell the partner who has more ample time to pull their time in learning something, in probably getting a new hobby, going out with other friends, you know, doing something else. Just make sure that you understand or you evaluate your partner's timing and yours. So if your partner has a more tighter schedule than yours, definitely there will be some friction on that level. So you should be more understanding, but I'm not saying that you should be too busy to talk to your partner.